The BioAfrica Convention provides a platform for dialogue and discussion with stakeholders in the global biotechnology environment. It showcases Africa's biotechnology innovations in health, agriculture and industrial sectors to the world, with hopes of attracting investment. Invited startups will get an opportunity to exhibit their business and pitch at the convention. Joining us for more on the event is Dr. Siyabulela Ntutela, the Executive Vice President of BioAfrica. Dr. Ntutela, I appreciate your time. Could you provide an overview of the BioAfrica Convention and its significance in the global biotechnology industry?
Good afternoon to you and your listeners. Biotechnology is one of those sectors that are growing up within the African continent, and the BioAfrica Convention provides a platform for the continent to basically showcase its potential in this sector, its new innovations, and the role of startups and SMEs that they can play in growing that Africa's bioeconomies and biomanufacturing. So the BioAfrica Convention is happening in Durban at the Durban ICC from the 1st of September to the 6th of September. It's the 6th chapter for this year. Since 2018, it's been growing and growing. So this time around, we're hoping to attract delegates from all over the continent. We had about 50 countries last year, and we hope to grow that number bigger this year. And we also will be launching the second biggest startup stadium since last year. About 100 African biotech startups, and we're showcasing new innovations in agriculture, in the health sector, in the industrial biotechnology sector. So that's the convention that we'll be having at the Durban ICC this September.
Well, this is the 6th one, and your theme is reimagining biotechnology innovation for Africa's development and security. Unpack that for us.
Yes. Basically, we're saying Africa has got the potential to provide global solutions to health sector issues, to food security issues, and to environmental sector issues. Give an example is that of during the COVID years, where Africa found itself in the back foot of getting supplies to solve the issues of COVID, and most of the global players were keeping the stocks of vaccines for themselves, the stocks of diagnostics for themselves, and it had to take a number of African startups, to innovate and come up with their own solutions. So for this year, we're saying let's look back into what we could do for ourselves as Africa and start to imagine what we can do if we put all of these innovations to solve Africa's development and Africa's security in the food sector, in the health sector, in all the sectors that are key to Africa's growth and development. So we're saying, let's look at biotechnology and look within the African continent to say, where is our research going to? How do we support our startups, and how do we use these innovations that are coming out from our SMEs to pull those together, collaborate, to partner with investors, and to partner within the African continent to solve our problems, but not only Africa's problems, but to expand beyond the borders of Africa to address global issues, but using Africa's innovations and working with Africa's SMEs, because we believe that the solution lies in us being able to tap into that knowledge and those innovations. So the convention's theme is based on that, saying let's grow our investments into our SMEs, let's grow our confidence, let's create policies that address the growth of the SMEs in the continent in order to take their innovations and use them as a solution to solve our problems.
Now, Dr. Ntutela, you've put a big focus on startups. You've said startups will be invited to exhibit in the main hall. 10 of those startups will get the opportunity to submit, to pitch their businesses. Let's talk about some assistance that is available to these startups. Is there any preparatory work that you assist them with in preparing for a pitch? Because it may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many of them.
Yes, yeah, and it's not 10. Actually, this year we're looking at more than 100 of these. I might have said 10 by mistake, but it's more than 100 of these. But before the convention starts, we have a number of partners that we brought on board, global partners, multilateral partners, such as the Emory University, the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, ICGP, in Italy, and other players within the country, the Ministry of Science and Technology, that we've all brought them together to say, let us run these pre-convention workshops to train our startups, to train our entrepreneurs, to train our students on a number of activities around growing your business, from pitching to packaging your businesses, but also to accessing international partners and international markets and so forth. So we, as Africa Bio, we've been playing that role of making sure that we take the startups and we showcase them to the world, we train them, and we develop them to be able to then pitch their innovations. For example, we took about 50 startups into Egypt just about a month and a half ago, where from all over the continent, where there was this Africa's Health Expo, and Africa Bio was key to developing those startups, stadiums, and most of our entrepreneurs were bringing in new innovations, cutting-edge innovations, and we trained them to be able to pitch these and develop those into business. So within the Bio Africa, we're doing the same thing, just make sure the number grows bigger. And we're not only looking at South Africa, we're looking at other countries within the continent and trying to identify those cutting-edge innovations that are driven by SMEs, to bring them on board, develop them and train them with our partners, so that by the time they go and pitch in this space and in global markets, they know how to do it. And but more importantly, the innovations have solutions to solve within the African continent.
Now, coming back to the issue of startups, in your 6th edition, you now have 100 that are participating this year. Is this an indication of the success of these startups that have pitched or that have come onto this platform 6 years ago when you started?
Correctly so, yeah. Correctly so. I mean, the convention itself has been growing year on year. Even during the COVID years, we saw a number of participants from many countries trying to look at this as the place to talk about biotech, to meet investors, for investors to meet policies and policymakers and so on. So this year's convention is an indication of how people have been looking for a platform like ours, to meet with investors to meet with the SMEs and innovators, and government policymakers to meet with big business. We talk about the self-line. So the interest in the convention is actually an indication that it is becoming the place to be if you want to talk about innovation and biomanufacturing within the continent.
Now, the diversity in clinical trials is highlighted as a key topic in a seminar held in a partnership with Amgen. Why is diversity in clinical trials important, and how it can contribute to advancing biotechnology innovation and healthcare outcomes in Africa? Yeah,
clinical trials are key to developing almost all health products, and our view is that the participation of diverse populations within the clinical trials make it easy for medicines to be able to, for us to know how those medicines are playing a role, but more importantly also within the pharmaceutical sector itself. Want to see the role that can be played by diverse members of society in making sure that clinical trials are not only targeting one sector of the population or certain countries within the global space, but they are as diverse as possible, because we want to know what happens in other sectors, in other communities, and even other populations, when these medicines are being used, and who are the key players in those populations, and making sure that we address global problems, but not sectorized problems that are only focused on other solutions. So Africa Bio, together with its partner Amgen, have been running these webinars since last year, and they've been growing, and we've got listenership almost throughout the entire world. People want to know what have been missing in this sector of clinical trials, and how do we start to address the issue of diversity in clinical trials, population diversity, participant diversity, but also engaging other partners within other countries within clinical trials, so that everybody benefits and understands the clinical dynamism of medicines, and every country basically, or every population within each country is able to address on their needs on this clinical trial. So we've been running these webinars with Amgen, and they've actually shown to be a great success, and numbers have grown almost every year. And even this year, we will be having 2 sessions within our program to talk about this aspect of diversity in clinical trials, approaching it from the point of the patient, but also from the point of who the practitioners are.
And finally, Dr. Ntutela, just give us some insights into what countries are represented by those that are participating.
In the upcoming convention.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, last year we had about 34 different African countries that had their representative in the convention. We're hoping that number to grow bigger. Our interest is to see every African country having either delegates or speakers within the convention globally. We've partnered with Bio in the USA, the Australian delegations, almost every year attend in large numbers. We have the Italians coming on board. So there's a number of diverse European countries and American countries that participate in our convention, and some of them, they run special programs. As I mentioned, the Italians in the ICGB, the delegation from India is coming, I think about 10 large businesses from India will come to showcase their businesses. So we are hoping to have more than 60 different countries this year, but our interest is to make sure that because it's a Pan-African convention, that every African country in the continent is represented by either a delegate, a speaker, or a delegation of people attending the convention, exhibiting, or being in a speaker's program.
Dr. Siyabulela Ntutela is the Executive Vice President of BioAfrica, and he was in conversation with us, speaking about startups in particular, and certainly the benefits that they've enjoyed.